I'm glad I can swear because that's good. I have to bite my tongue all the time. Right, here we go. I'm involved.
Welcome to Shut Up and Answer the Question, the show where we take one of your questions and take a bloody long time to answer them. Oh, I'm Ethan Lawrence.
And I'm Sean Antony. How you doing, bud?
I'm good. I'm infused today. I'm infused because my body is broken, but my mind is running at 100 miles an hour. I managed a wrestling match 2 days ago. I am bruised and battered.
But you're still going strong.
I've got a bruise on the palm of my hand. How do you even do that? Don't say wanking.
Well, that would, you read my mind. Shit.
Oh, well, get your mind out of the fucking gutter because we've got a guest on today.
I better be on my best behaviour then.
Yeah, none of this wanking business. Not while we've got a guest on. Anyway, I've got about a side and a half of A6. Where as we know, I just read the guest's career to them, and they've just got to sit there and take it. So here we go.
Oh Christ!
Oh Christ! He's talking. He's talking before I've done the thing.
I'm not here. I'm not here.
No, the format.
I've muted myself.
That's
our guest today is a singer, musical theatre performer, and TikToker from the land of the free and the home of the Braveheart, Scotland. Having moved from Dundee to train, he's been wowing audiences all over the country with his vocal prowess, most recently as the lead in Restless Natives with over 4.5 million likes on TikTok. His covers of Frankie Valli are so beautiful and high-pitched, he can't even share them on here without being caught in the Zoom noise gate. Viewers of ITV's 99 to Beat will also recognise him as a dirty, rotten cheater who did not win £25,000. Please welcome the supremely talented and slippery bastard, Kinley McKillop. Kinley McKillop is Finlay McKillop. I fucked that up. I wrote that as cut this.
It's staying in. It's staying in.
We call Kinley.
All right,
Kinley
so
from now on.
welcome Kinley McKillop to the Finlay McKillop. I am so sorry I fucked up your intro. Please forgive me and don't sue me.
I don't have a penny to. No, fear not.
Honestly, that has taken the weight off my shoulders. Knowing that there's very minimal chance we're going to be litigated against on this one.
Oh Christ, no, that I have lots of money that I'm going to sue you with. Yes.
Well, you don't have £25,000. Spoiler alert from 99 to Beat, which I think we should maybe touch on first before we get to the meat of it. So yeah, you were a contestant on an ITV game show.
Yeah, it was really good fun. It was sort of like during a down period where I had nothing for like the foreseeable month, and I just went, what random thing can we get involved in? And then ITV sort of messaged, as they do, they procure people from here, there and everywhere. You don't actually just apply to things normally these days. And I said, yeah, why not? It was really good fun, but the way I went out, I really didn't mind, to be fair.
I mean, I saw the clip. Like I watched the show, I saw the replay. You hit the cam with your hand, mate. Like you did.
I know. That's what I said. I said in the thing, if I did it, then I deserve to go out. But the weird thing was, and people messaged me. They said I was put back to the beginning, not where I touched my hand. But then, to be fair, ITV wanted the older person through, and I get that. And to be fair, I did hit it with my hand, so fair dues.
Yeah, I think it was less that they were wanting drama and more just that you cheated.
The cheek, you cheeky bastard!
It was a great TV moment, though. It
was. Although that's what I found out, because there was the local papers in Dundee and around about were writing about it, going like, what was it? It was something like local actor goes out of ITV game show in dramatic, and I'm going, it's bloody slow news day for you lot. I'm going, Jesus Christ! I was like, thank you very much for the free PR, but that's a bit sad. But
Look, if you're a local paper, you've got to get clicks somehow.
very true, very true.
And local boy done bad on 99 to beat is.
Although 20th place, I'll take that. What an insight to 99 to beat. Considering I was brought back for all these for touching the thing, when there was about 100 or 80 or like 60 people in the thing, the amount of cheating you could actually just watch, because there was only about 5 marshals. So I was like the Slinky challenge, I was cheering on people, then they'd turn their back and just place it on their head. That's the sort of stuff that was going on. So I was like, yeah.
Okay, right. Well,
now we got the goss for
we shut up and answer the question, disavow ourselves from the comments of Kinley Phillips.
It's all very true. It's all very
suicide
true.
TV.
No, take them.
Oh God! But I did a show for them once. I can't. It was 7 years ago.
Oh, it's fine. They've got big hearts.
Yeah, they're lovely people, I'm sure. Yeah, to be fair, like you say, 20th-ish was a hell of a run. Considering you had
really good
99 to beat.
Yeah, no, it's really, really good fun. I mean, there's lots of different things I could get into about funny wee bits. There was episode 2 was meant to start a different way. It was meant to start with 80 people jumping into a pile of hay. But filming was postponed because people genuinely got ill and ambulance had to come, and it was a bit, because if you think of it, 80 people jumping to find a needle in a haystack, then the hay was unclean and it just went voomf. It went it was mad. It wasn't even funny.
It was just all 80 people got like hand, foot and mouth or something.
Genuinely, it was because someone got farmer's lung. It's not even funny.
Jesus.
No, not even funny. But yes, that game was cancelled and filming was postponed for I think 3 days or so. But apart from that, it was good fun.
This reminds me of a time when I did a show called Murder They Hope for UK TV, and at some point my character had to be trapped inside an active flour mill. And I was coughing up flour for like 6 months afterwards, and I was still finding like flour in like, all my flaps.
You're just making bread in your lungs.
Honestly, flour is the worst. People talk about sand. It's all about flour. Don't muck around with that stuff. If you get enough of
a flour-air ratio, you can get a proper explosion as well.
Thanks for bringing that up 5 years hence.
I hate a bit of flour.
It was during COVID.
I had a floury roll the other day.
What was that?
A floury roll. You know, I went to the bakery, because support your local bakery and all that, at the local theatre, wherever I am. Big up Goodfellas and Stevenson's of Perth, get in. But I had a floury roll, and in my head I'm thinking, what is the purpose of a floury roll? Because it just makes a mess. I bite into it and the flour just goes everywhere. It was very upsetting. That was a very big side note, but I hate floury rolls.
Well, that is a great question. And speaking of questions, oh!
There we go.
He's a producer.
Perfect segue.
We've got a question for you, Finlay. And we're going to ask it, and you've got to answer it, because that's the premise of the show. And unfortunately, you can't leave until we've got this definitive.
Oh, dear.
And I know you've got a hard out, so get your thinking cap on. Question comes from Mr. Boschel on TikTok. And the question is thus: why is it called a boxing ring when it's square?
Why is it called a boxing ring when it's square? I don't fucking know.
Dang.
Was it maybe a ring before?
Or maybe it's for the bell.
That's what I'm going with. That sounds like a very
so idea. It's actually not relevant at all. It's called a boxing ring just because everything is announced with a bell. Ding, maybe, ding, ding.
Ding, ding,
ding, ding. That's yes. That
maybe we
logical.
don't know. But it could have been a ring to begin with. It could have been literally like, I don't know, like originally there was just people holding hands to keep the fighters in the middle, and then
a daisy chain.
Yeah, they're just doing Ring of Roses, and then just two kids just sort of start smacking each other senseless.
Why is it kids?
Oh, you know what? This is actually pretty good.
Yeah, why is it kids? This is
why is it kids in your
life? Is this Ring of Roses? Which adult does fucking Ring of Roses these days?
But it's you're talking about two kids thumping the life out of each other.
And then you had the teacher come in, they're the referee, and there we go. And then
I've never heard
teacher's
Ring a
just
Ring a
gone,
Rosie being put in the same context as a battle to the death.
there we go. And that's
Did you used to
why
do
this
that at
podcast.
school?
What the Ring of Roses or the Battle to the Death?
Yeah,
Battle to the death.
Well, both.
There we go. Yeah, that always happened, didn't it? Always. What was the other one? It was like Red Rover as well, where everyone and then you had to charge full on and try and break the arm, like the players holding the arms on the opposite team. And if
Sean,
you
are
did,
you sure you went to school and not like a war?
holy shit, that explains a lot.
You're on the front lines. Oh my god.
And they were just all lying to you and telling you at school.
It's
Red Rover. Red Rover, send Sean right over. Right, take this AK.
Every time you open your mouth, Sean, another concussion comes out, and I just.
Oh my god!
I think I think my brain is probably more gummy than a bag of millions at the moment.
Great stuff. I love that. My poor co-host. Finlay, do you have any experience with combat sports?
With combat sports, I used to do rugby at school, but then I've got a dodgy kidney, so then they were like, "You can't do that." So then I stopped. Apart from that, football I really like doing. I'm absolutely awful, but I'm a fan. I actually cannot play. It's like I've got two left feet. But yeah, apart from that, I used to like doing hockey.
Interesting, because your resume that I looked up does say you can do dance.
I can do dance. I mean, I've got a degree for it, but I do have two left feet.
How do you square that circle? Speaking of boxing rings.
Oh my god, you brought it full circle. Oh my god, right.
I'm a producer. I'm getting so much better at this.
I don't know. Dance is something I've always been terrified of, even because before I did my degree, I'd never done any dancing. And when I rock up to the degree, everyone's like, "Oh, I've been dancing since the age of 6." I'm like, "Great. Well, I've not been." So it was a big struggle. And I still sort of get something in the pit of my stomach if I have to dance. I've got to dance a lot in the show I'm currently in, so I'm getting better at doing it without worrying. But yes, I would class myself as a mover and a groover than a dancer. That's what I'll class.
That's really interesting, actually, because this weekend I was watching an interview with for the new Karate Kid film that's coming out soon as well, and Ben Wang, the main kid in it, he's a dancer, but he said he found it easier to pick up, like I don't know if it was sort of stage fighting or just the fighting choreography, because it's more just 2 beats rather than it is fighting, so it's kind of yeah, maybe you could put fighting in for like a combat kind of sport.
Yeah. No, I like that. I remember doing fight combat at drama school, but it was really weird. It was with this. All I really remember from the classes is that he wore no shoes and he would dance around really quickly. That sounds so weird.
It's good that you took it all in.
He was. We called him Toes Out Sean, but apart from that, that's all I know.
Oh shit, they're onto me.
The lesson would start and he'd say, "Can you get your toes out, please?" And you go, "Oh my god."
Sculpting young minds. That's excellent. So yeah, I mean, I can only speak to dance because of horrible histories where it's very uniform. Like,
yes,
there are at least, I'm not going to name names, but there are at least 5 members of the cast that cannot dance at all. And so it's very much, what then has to happen is, what then has to happen is that the choreography has to, you're only as strong as your weakest member, right? So the choreography has to be as simple as the weakest member can do. And I'm not saying it's me, but
is it all fixed in the cut as well? So it just sort of pans and then
you can hide so much in it. Because they usually shot like music videos, they're like really schizophrenically cut together. So it's like I'm fine as long as I'm vaguely doing the same thing as the person next to me. I've cleared it.
God's sakes!
God, I'm a single threat, man. I'm barely a single threat.
God,
not like Finlay McKillop, actor, singer, and dancer.
I was going to say, yeah. Well, what is your
actor, singer, mover?
Sorry, groover.
Actor, singer. What is your preference out of the 3?
I think definitely singing. I think that's what I find myself doing every single day. But Yeah, I absolutely adore my acting. Dancing's definitely my least, because I will shit a brick whenever if I get a thing through saying, you've got something that has a dance edition first. I genuinely will not eat that day. If the editions are like 4, I can't because I'm shitting a brick. Uh, there was one audition I did recently for White Christmas where it said, and I knew I was like, right, shit's hit the fan because it said, bring your tap shoes and your jazz shoes, and I was like, well,
Oh.
mine are dusty and or I cannot find them. And it was with this like high fluted West End choreographer, and I remember like with my tap shoes on, and everyone was fantastic in the room. When it came to dancing in a group of 3, I just like laughed with the panel because I was like, I was like, I'm clearly in the wrong room. But hell,
Oh, I honestly, I'm picturing that scene and I am mortified on your behalf.
I hate it. I hate it.
That's got to be like, well, even if you've turned up anyway, but you've just had a bit of a laugh with them, that's got to be some kind of a like, I'm trying, but I know I'm not the best for this one, but thank you very much, kind of thing. They've got to come back.
Yeah,
Go,
I'm never too downbeat with it. Yeah,
yeah.
It's always try and get a laugh in the room because I mean, otherwise, what the hell are we doing? Like, it's a long day for them as well. Auditioning. Ugh. How do you find auditioning in general? What's your strategy?
I'm trying to. My strategy for it's just sort of giving everything a go, like that sort of thing. Knowing I am probably going to fail horrifically at this tap thing, but still going along. There's never an audition I'll go right. Well, I'm not doing that because I'll just go along for the sort of. Well, I tell a lie. There absolutely is, but but yeah, strategy for auditioning is just going in and trying to like really be myself and just sort of bring like a smile to the room because as you're saying, audition panels are in there for a long time. So if you can bring them a bit of a laugh and make a personality connection with them, then that's the best route to go down. Hopefully.
Oh my god, a load of posts just arrived. I hope no one heard that.
No, not at all.
God, that is. We need to stop doing podcasts at like around 11 or noon because this happens every podcast.
The post comes tumbling in.
I'm gonna have to have a look at that in a minute. It's quite a heavy load. Oh Christ, what were we talking about?
Audition. I was just because I was going to ask as well. Did you find that obviously during lockdown, your auditions then go from person to being online? Has that sort of started? Because I know Ethan said before that it's kind of it's slowly coming back, but it's Are you doing more like in person still, or is
loads of them are like. Ethan, you'll know it's like loads of them are like first round self tapes, which is quite good because then it will prevent if they take a look at me and they go, no, we don't like them. It's prevented me traveling into the centre of London before sending me away. So there's the benefit. It's probably costing people less, but a lot of it's online still, which I'm not complaining at. But then because I did my last year of training on Zoom and I hated that, like because I had to go back to Scotland, and I remember like I'm attempting to tap in the kitchen, and then my mum moaning because I was marking the bloody floor, and then I'd be doing ballet in her living room, and she's watching me through the glass bloody pan. I'm going right, I can't, and I'm no.
I'd seen stuff like that going on. I did roughly sort of look. I looked at how old you are, and I was like, oh, I think he might have been a COVID degree, and you were, and I'm so sorry.
Oh no! I mean, if anything, it allowed me to be at home for a bit, but then it was a bit naff because obviously I bloody love a night out. I love a drink. I think the first and second year there wasn't a Friday or a Saturday me and my flatmate didn't miss, and then COVID hit, and I was like, oh, for Christ's sake! But hey, I
mean, it was probably better for you given the rigorous nature of musical theatre training. You're just boozing every night.
Hey! I work hard and I party harder. That's the rule.
Remember when we were young, Sean, and that was the thing that you could do. You didn't have to pick.
Oh yeah. You could drink until 2, and then get up at 6 and just go, yeah, dude, I'm fine. Now
my hangovers are bad. I now have to rein it in because I get up and I actually feel like death. So I'm now no longer like that.
I suppose a lot of that is also like caring for your voice, which is if you will forgive the incredibly wanky expression I'm about to use, your voice is your instrument, so obviously it needs to be maintained in a way that keeps it healthy, right?
Well, I think you're absolutely right there, Ethan. Yes, it's very important. No, yes, I think it's very important to look after that because recently because I've got every sort of gadget under the sun. I've got like my vocal steamer, inhaler, humidifier, Manuka honey, all this stuff. But it's just about not being too stupid with it on a night out, especially if you're in a show or mid show or got an audition coming up. It's just, yeah, having to really be mindful of it because I can. After, if I'm a few rums in, I'll be like singing very, very loud. I'm like, right, rein it in. You've got a bloody show to do. Don't be stupid because you'll get the boot.
Yes, we are very replaceable as a group.
Yes.
They're
When
not
did
afraid
you-
to let us know either.
Yeah, we'll probably
No.
could do this with AI. When did you first discover that you could you had a voice on you, Kinley McPhillip?
I'm trying to think. It was probably the first time I ever went on stage was about, I think, maybe 7 years old when my mum said the local amateur dramatic society are casting. I remember saying to her, I don't want to go along to that because that's not cool. And I was thinking I'll get ridiculed at school for this. I was like, right, no. But I remember going along to it and loving it. And ever since doing Anna Get Your Gun as little Jake Oakley, I was like, I love this. Like, this is something I had like my sights set on it. I don't know why. It's something I felt so strongly from that age. And then from there, started busking in streets and singing in nursing homes and all this sort of thing. And there's some weird things that occur in the nursing homes that are just very funny, but they should stay there.
I'm glad that came up organically because I think one of the first videos I saw of yours was you entertaining the old folk in a home. And I was
Yes.
like, oh, this chap seems like he seems like a very charitable sort. I'm going to drop him a follow, see what's going on there. And then I heard the Frankie Valli stuff, and I was like, holy shit, he's got a set of pipes on him.
God, of all the comments on the Frankie Valli stuff, it's like, Christ, this bloke has no balls. And I'm like, thank you very much.
Well, I always find it, again, we talk about this all the time because Sean's a voiceover artist as well. And I always enjoy like the vocal switching between doing like one extreme thing and then going back to normal.
Mm-hmm.
And what I've always enjoyed in your videos is that you're up there, Frankie Valli style, and then you'll stop and be like, I'm not singing that anymore, I'm done. Back to normal, Finlay.
Yeah, I'm like, right, fuck the Frankie Valli. No, that's too high. Because sometimes I'm just like, right, no. I'll be doing live stream. People, it'll be like bloody 11 at night, and they'll be like, sing Frankie Valli. I'm like, piss off, no.
Well, I jumped on a live of yours a couple of days ago. It was about 1 a.m, I think.
I know that's because I finished the 2-show day, and then we went for a drink afterwards, and then I had to travel back to Dundee. So I only got in at maybe about 12:15, and I had so much energy. I was just like, right. Yeah, and no one was in.
Lost it from the train.
Oh no! I love a train, mate.
Because normally, if I had to take a train journey after having a real high, it's completely gone by the time I get back.
No, I'm listening to all the music and the tunes and all this. That I'll get hyped on the bloody train. I'm like, yeah.
He's hyped on a train. It was during that live that you refused a request of mine.
Mm.
And I think you knew this was coming up because I threatened to make a note, and I did. Right,
Oh dear.
You refused to do Scottish Kermit the Frog.
I know, but I don't know how he would be.
Well, now's the time to find out.
What would he sound like? I need a phrase.
I mean, it ain't easy being green, I suppose, is the killer rap.
Right. It ain't easy being green, you filthy fucking bastard. No.
I love
That's
it.
awful. Oh my Christ.
I love it. I'm so pleased.
Amazing.
Oh my God.
I tell you what, Sean, as well. He's got a good Trump impression and all.
Oh, is
dear.
it?
Multi-talented, this lad. I'm telling you.
With that bloody madman in the news, Christ. He's a Pope or a Jedi.
Much better that it's you in the news.
He's
of
not a
course.
Jedi, he's Sith, because he did the red.
He
red
is.
lightsaber,
They gave him
so
a
that's
red
what I'm-
lightsaber.
If only conservatives understood basic art.
Well, that's why should they? They've got AI to do whatever they want.
Yeah. They could have gotten him an actual lightsaber, probably.
He was claiming he didn't even know that it was posted on the White House page. I'm going, what the fuck's going on now? Oh well. But he's
I
good
mean-
comedy.
I mean, to be fair, he's 78. I wouldn't be talking about social media strategy to a 78-year-old man. Like,
Very true.
It is a bit bonkers, like the whole of that area of like American like jobs or politics. It's sort of every one of them is nearly either nearly or should be retired. Yeah, you sure you should be like
Who's the bloke that keeps freezing? You must have seen him on TikTok.
it's not Mitt Romney, it's the other one.
And he's got his glasses on and he just...
I think it's John
Bernie
McCain,
Sanders?
is it?
Oh,
remember.
But
Yeah.
he's like 400 years old. And like, you're exactly right. During every speech, at some point, he just stops talking and stares into the middle distance for like,
I
not
think
joking,
it's-
5 minutes. It's
yeah.
eerie.
And then he rushed away. He's rushed away by his advisors and the doctor, and it's like, for goodness sake.
They just whack a bag over him and track him to the plane.
poop myself.
God's
Right, let's come on.
sakes.
Let's go.
That's a gerontocracy. That's what they call it. That's the word for that. That's another word I know, Sean. Do you like that? Gerontocracy.
Oh man, you're full of the cool like words.
That means a populace run by old people.
Ah.
Oh.
I hope everyone's enjoying that, or enjoying Ethan's word corner. A new segment on the podcast. Speaking of
Needs
segments,
a theme tune.
What's that? Oh, needs a theme tune. Oh, I wonder if we knew someone who's good at singing.
No.
God, you're no fun. You know that.
Oh,
No,
come on,
that's the song now.
bundles
We've
of
just
fun.
we've got Ethan's word corner. No.
Sean, stitch that together. See if we can. Oh God, no way. We've got a question. We need to get to the question. So, boxing rings. I was thinking, because obviously, like I mentioned at the top, I was at the wrestling, which again also is called a wrestling ring and is square. There was a wrestling company, TNA. They used to have a hexagonal ring.
Hmm.
So I think there's a broad sort of disrespect to the idea of circles in most combat sports.
Well,
I'm
even
struggling to
like,
think of any combat sport that actually is in a circle.
Has a circle. Oh.
Well,
Because like
in
mixed martial arts has
capoeira-
like an octagon.
Yeah, the mixed in capoeira they have it's called the roda, which is literally a ring, but it's all the players around the outside. They then have to be around to actually like put their hand in to go. Now it's my turn.
Oh.
Ring a
and
rosy
then-
style.
Ring a rosy style.
Battering children, yes.
But
Tekken
elegantly
freestyle.
in dance.
Elegantly battering children with dance, yes.
Ah, yes. How very Victorian.
And Brazilian, apparently.
Victorian Brazilian.
Well, look, Brazil was there during the Victorian era.
That's true. Well, it's not
Very
like popped
true.
up out of nowhere.
I can't remember where I saw it, but people saying that, like, we apply sort of like the Western time structure to all other places. So you have to talk about Victorian China, where really we could be talking about Ming Dynasty England
Yeah.
if we wanted to. But no one ever does that. No one ever does that.
Oh,
Probably
yeah,
because
if you
it's
do
too
have-
confusing.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if it would be Ming Dynasty Norway would technically be Vikings, wouldn't it?
I don't know when the Ming Dynasty was, and for the love of God, we're not checking.
But that would be very confusing. You're just opening up a history book and you're like, whoa, okay.
Back in Ming Dynasty, Norway,
History
King
plus
Havard Bugger Nuts or whatever.
maths. Bugger nuts.
Havard Bugger Nuts, all right?
That sounds like some sort of confectionery from Sweden or Norway.
It was very much Bugger Nuts. You want to try some Bugger Nutten?
Do you want a bucket nut? Well, you should have bought some. Baby.
That's really tickled me, and I don't know why.
Because it's funny.
Let's go back to Kinley Phillips' journey. I'm sure you get this question a lot, but it's an operative one. I get it a lot myself. At what point did you think to yourself, right, I'm good at this. Can I turn this into a career?
God. Sort of, I think maybe in the last year of school, because I was like, because I wasn't I wasn't bad at other subjects, but I thought this is just what I really love doing. And because I originally went to try go do opera at the Royal Welsh, because my music teacher at school, my head of music, was like, you can't have a career in musical theatre, you just can't. And I was like, right, okay, well, but didn't listen to him. Then I ended up taking a gap year, and from that, I was like, right, I'm really going to try and go for it. So in that sort of gap year after school, I was like, I was trying everything, and the thing I always try to do, even in the downside of like where you're sort of out of a job or this, that, or the other, I'm always like meshing people or trying to. I think you have to be your own salesman as much as like my agent will hopefully do work, do more. No, I'm just joking. But you've got to be your own sort of believe in yourself and just put yourself out all these directions. So yeah, I think probably the gap year after school is when I was like, right, let's give this a really, really good go. And just if you chuck enough shit at a fan, something will stick. I'm determined at that, or think that's correct.
Yeah, I mean, as two self-employed idiots, I'm sure we can very much agree.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, yeah, it is very much the numbers game, especially with voiceover stuff. The platforms that I use is just sort of I try and get as many as possible. And even just playing the percentages, there you're meant to like you just go, well, at least I might get one. So actually with because especially we're putting ourselves out there for a job. Do you find that sometimes like to not take it personally, or do you have it just wasn't what they had in mind, so that's cool, I'm on to the next one? Or
Yeah, I mean, I'm quite good at leaving sort of things at the door. I'm like, if there's a casting panel that don't sort of want me, I go, well, I didn't fit their idea of what the thing is, and I'm like, doesn't mean in a couple of years the casting team can change and I'll be back and I will fit their idea. But it's like when it's like a dream show, because it was one of my dream shows recently. I got all the way down like to the finals, and then it's like, because that's like 6 or 7 auditions I had to do, and then it's like, and you're being told, no, you're not right for the puzzle audition. You go, for sake, you're like, come on.
yeah,
And it's one of these, like, if it's like a dream show or something and you're being told no, that's when it's like heartbreaking. But if it's just like any other type of show, I'm quite good at just leaving it at the door and going, right, well, it's like that plenty of more fish in the sea for me.
Yeah, it is, and it's such a good way to. It's such a good way to think about it as well, because otherwise it really can bog you down if you're, especially if you have like a bad couple or something like that, and you're like, and again,
yeah.
But yeah.
Well, that's a good thing about TikTok, and that's what I was telling my mates, like, to just get on TikTok, because there's even after, like, if you're given a no from an audition, then that will give you a purpose to go back and like make a cover on TikTok to be like, well, at least some people will like what I do. It's sort of like a nice thing to have a creativity, like freedom of posting stuff, and people being really lovely with it as well, and that sort of keeps me going and keeps me like, well, let's make another song and let's get our confidence back up and that sort of thing. Yeah.
It was like you were saying, like TikTok is, very much one of those outlets that you can push towards, like, as selling yourself as a product. I mean, again, like the reason why we started talking, and the reason why we got you on this podcast is because you came up on my algorithm, and I was like, "There's a nice boy doing nice things in a nursing home," and then I'm like, "Oh shit, he's really good at singing and all."
Thank you very much. Yeah, it's weird how you come across all these sort of the people on TikTok. I'm a big advocate of TikTok. I love it. Obviously I do, because I'm bloody on it every day. But but no, I think it's really, really good for getting like yourself as an actor or a singer out there. Because recently there's been shows that I wanted to be auditioned for, and there'd be no way I would be like brought in by them, or like my agent would have the contact to bring me in. But then I've like added them on TikTok, and then they'll get in touch. So it's weird. It's like, if you have enough people spamming in your comments to at a certain page, then eventually they'll respond. It's awful, but it's a nice way of, I don't know, of a weird way. It shouldn't be how it's done, but it's a way that I'm like, well, if this is how we have to do it, well, so be it.
Look, we work in an attention economy, and you've got to play the game. Like,
Yeah.
There's no other way around it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, we put together, well, Sean puts together like the lovely clips that we post up, and some of them catch fire and some of them die a death, and it's like, well, you know, as long as we throw enough shit at the wall, eventually
Yes.
the problem's click through. I've found, like, it's great for like something to go like, it's really difficult to encourage people to listen to a podcast, is what I've discovered over the past 12 weeks.
It's like there are loads and loads and loads, and there's not enough time to listen to
It's almost like it's a ludicrously oversaturated market that we've gotten into. I would say a good 10 years too late. If we got in early,
to meet awesome people like you. So yeah, man.
Get in.
Well, I mean, this is why we do it. I mean, I don't think anyone would get into podcasting to get rich these days. Be like opening a restaurant to try and get rich. What are you doing? That's such a poor investment. Be like trying to be an actor or something. Well,
Christ, I know. Deary me.
Why would you want to do that? Much better off to go and cheat on a ITV Shiny Floor game show.
Oh, yes. That's done me really well.
I tell you what, I didn't know you were on it, so it was so fucking jarring when you popped up on the screen. I was like, "That's Finlay McGillard."
For God's sake, yeah. I honestly, I thought it was hilarious, the whole thing of it. And to be fair, there's still a group chat of all 100 people in it, and it still goes crazy every single day. And obviously, you put 100 personalities together, it's like, for good, like, people are like bickering well into the night. So it'll be like 3 a.m. and there's people on that. There's like Pam from Liverpool screaming at fucking Ash from Nottingham. Like, it's like, what?
I love a random group chat. They're the best.
But it's like one of the ones where you could just drop into. Honestly, if I'm bored, if I'm sat on the toilet for a good 5 minutes swiping on my phone, I'll go onto that group chat and I'll just listen to it and I'll giggle because I'm like, this is fucking ridiculous.
Just the back and forth of it all. That's with when you become part of a company of actors and the group chat forms and then the job ends and there's just now this bloated corpse of a WhatsApp group.
Yes.
Gradually decreasing in relevance as it goes on.
Oh, it's sad, isn't it? That's the thing. The one bad thing about our jobs is that you make, like, it's like a family. You're in this bubble, and then when the job ends, it's like, right, well, that was good. Anyway, off we go.
It's like holiday friends.
Yes, it is. It's like that.
That is the best comparison anyone has ever made. Something like that. I get questions all the time. Oh, are you still friends with the guys from such and such? And I'm sort of like, no, because we were so sick of each other by the end of the shoot. We never want to see each other again.
God's sake.
Oh, God.
I won't talk to you, but I'll like your pictures on your social media every now and then.
Yeah. Occasionally. Not too much. Don't want you to think I care.
Once a month. Treat yourselves.
If that. Oh, dear. Boxing. So... I'm a fan of the bell theory, personally.
The bell theory?
Well, Sean came up with it very, very early doors. The fact that it's named after the sound of the bell rather than the actual shape.
I was thinking it was some sort of conspiracy theory.
No, and there's nothing to do with like bell ends either. Nothing to do with that. So take that out of your mind, out of the gut. Both of you, actually. Mine's out of the gutter,
ripping the bell off of the canvas and then just smashing people with it.
With the ring
a lot in
roses,
wrestling. Happens more often than you think in wrestling.
God.
That's a good weapon. Makes a nice noise.
Yeah, that's the thing. Well, yeah, you've got to actually. Yeah, how would you? Because you've got to get the good sound off that, but you can't hit them so hard that it's gonna. Unless you.
Them.
Yeah.
Fists up. They come in with the and it's a ding. You just gotta hit it with your fists.
I suppose it's
not
got
that
the
I know
inside it still, hasn't it? Yeah.
You can gimmick it. Everything can be gimmicked. Everything's a gimmick. This is what I've been saying, of course. So are we married to the bell idea? Because then we can just abandon the question and talk to Finlay some more about other stuff.
I mean, that must be it. I will now be checking it out on the internet as to why it's called that. But
Not right
Yeah.
now, please, because we don't check things
No,
during the
no,
pod.
no. Oh, no. Siri, stop listening. No.
So, I mean, we sort of we brushed onto TikTok, sort of sideways. When did that start for you? And then also, was it a slow build, or was it like there were like one video that shot you to TikTok megastardom?
Oh, Lord. I mean, I only started it sort of, 'cause it's one of these things where you start off doing, and I think I started posting videos whilst at drama school, but then you get people who are all like, "Oh, check him, he's posting on TikTok, ooh, making fun." But then I'm like, you're now messaging me for messages saying, "Finn, what mic did you use?" And I'm like, but you know what I mean? It's like, yeah, it was like a longevity thing of like, despite people going, "Oh Christ, that's the bloke that posts on video on TikTok," but it's like probably drama school was when like the final year when I was about to go into the industry. I was like, right, well, let's start posting videos out there for people to see and to try get into rooms and that sort of thing. And it was probably, I think maybe it wasn't until last year around about May or June time. I think it was a Frankie Valli video and a Phantom video that sort of really close back to back. I think they just sort of put my channel right up, like sort of 2 videos in the space of 2 weeks or something, just sort of propelled me, and that sort of gave me a opportunity to meet really lovely people and on my videos that are always lovely and checking in, and yeah.
You
It is
pleased
funny
the
that-
algorithm that month, I think.
I know.
You
I'll never
sacrificed
have
the
a
goat
month
or
like
something.
it. I'll always
so
be
many
trying to
people-
recreate.
You were saying about of like people going, oh, look at him posting on TikTok and stuff like that, and it is like all people talking about, oh, it's so cringe and stuff like that. But especially in the world that we're in, you have to start off with the cringe, so you've got to embrace that, otherwise you're never going to get past it. So it's
Yeah.
I also think that's so funny for musical theatre people to be like, oh, what an exhibitionist. Like, what kind of crab in the bucket mentality is that? Like,
look at him wanting to get views.
Look at Finlay showing off. You're a fucking musical theatre student. Sit down.
It's mad, isn't it? It's like, oh, for goodness sake, yeah. But now people are trying to get on TikTok, and people are asking like advice and stuff. And I'm like, but a couple of years ago, you'd be like, oh, fucking ha. I'm like, no.
I remember you. I remember the
But then
clique.
and then I go, yes, and then I give them the oh yes.
Oh, so cliquey. I remember my MT days. Oh, the clique of it all.
No.
Do I ever tell you the time, Sean, when I made a hostile takeover of the Musical Theatre Society at Royal Holloway University of London in 2014?
No.
What?
Right, so we. I was involved.
It was a coup. It was a coup. Da da.
So I was part of the Drama Society because I was head of the improv group, which was sort of like an arm of the Drama Society, and that was already very cliquey. Like, I got into full-on pull-apart arguments with them. It was great. I think my crowning glory was when they had made like they'd made a what's it on the docket. They had a thing on the docket saying that it must be made a rule that one member of the Drama Society board has to go to a Holloway Players improv show. And I kicked right off because I was like, look, you're making it sound like an obligation rather than a treat. If you don't want to come, just don't fucking come. Like, it doesn't matter. I don't give a shit. We'll just do what we do. Anyway, I was chatting with a friend of mine, and turns out we both really enjoyed the musical The Wedding Singer. And we were like, wouldn't it be funny if we pitched, because if you thought the Drama Society was cliquey, you've got no idea what the MT Society was like. Holy hell. It's like Mean Girls in there. And so we were like,
Nice.
what if we, with no inside support from the Musical Theatre Society, somehow got a show mounted and we just cast all our friends? And amazingly, we did it.
Well, you did it.
Yeah, we mounted it and co-directed it. A full-on hostile takeover of the Musical Theatre Society.
Like a Trojan horse. Oh my lord.
We lasted a whole term, and then the show ended, and we retreated back, having been at loggerheads with them for months.
That's fucking hilarious. I like that.
Just can't
Ethan
nominate
Lawrence,
JD in
the
the lead.
MT punk.
My God.
The first and only time musical theatre has ever been punk. It's so society, musical theatre.
Have you got any crazy stories like that, Finlay?
Have you ever performed a coup d'etat?
I don't think so. No, I really don't think. Not anything like that. That sounds hilarious. Well, there's definitely your colleagues at drama school. Although I think everyone in my year was genuinely really, really nice. There was only the sort of odd person who would, I don't know, be in their own world, but everyone was very lovely, to be fair.
That's actually really good to hear. I wonder because of the difference in time, if people have just calmed down a bit. Like,
hopefully, but then I've also, because where I went to Emile de la Caname. It was very sort of, and I'm very thankful for it. It was sort of things like, if you missed your, because I think it was 7:45, we did like cardio in the morning, and if you missed that, if you weren't in for 7:45, you missed the entire day, and you were made to sit at reception and do work, and you weren't allowed to speak to anyone. It sounds a bit hostile.
That's very intense.
No, I know, but that's made me, and the thing they will say is get the train before the train, and that's what I always do. So I'm very thankful for that. But nowadays it seems that drama schools are getting quite lax with all that. I mean, fair enough. You teach in your own way, because I know there's teachers there who are like, who have left because they're like, well, I can't tell someone they're shit if they're shit. Because people will complain and parents will complain and that sort of thing. But I think it's getting more lax, drama schools and things like that.
I don't get that mentality. I don't get that mentality. Like being a working actor, especially being a working musical theatre performer, it's fucking hard.
Yeah,
like you can't soft soak these people. Like, you know, they need to be told.
I know.
How are you expected to get better if you're not told where to improve?
Exactly, and having that sort of level of discipline as well that I think
The
people
discipline's
definitely
so
need to
important.
have. Yeah, and that's what I was so glad with having that drilled in. But then recently, looking at people who I know were still at where I went, it seems to have gotten a bit lax. But then I loved my 3 years there, and obviously the teachers there are still fantastic because it's still lots of the same faculty. But yeah, I think it's just the way the world is going. You can't be as it once was. But then I suppose it was worse. Like prior to me going, there's lots of horror stories about drama schools that I've heard, horrific things, but wouldn't have happened in my time, and now it's changing.
I mean, for sure, but I do feel that there's a middle ground.
Yes,
because I too have heard the horror stories of drama schools, especially from like the 80s and 90s.
Oh my God,
where,
yeah.
like, you know, like they'd be like physically assaulted if they failed to do a pas de deux. Like not the sort of environment that you want.
No,
but these bloody woke drama schools now, where they treat the students like they're human beings or something.
what? Who needs that? That's not how you learn.
Woke nonsense.
Into this draining industry. You don't need that. You need to be beaten down to then grow.
I mean, to be fair, maybe I'm just an old school head, but like, yeah, actually.
Yeah, to be fair. Yeah.
I mean, because I'd found myself when I did Panto back in 2017. I'd been working TV for 5 years, and I tell you what, going back into the live theatre experience and 2 show days, like in the run up to Christmas, I'd forgotten the discipline that's required. I had forgotten, and I learnt pretty fucking fast.
It's mad, isn't it?
The matter of just looking after yourself, because you're putting your body through absolute hell with these things.
I know. It is that, because you can get to the end of a 2-show day and be absolutely floored, and you're like, oh my God. But, God.
Do you get used to it quite quickly then?
I think so, yeah, because it depends what show you're doing. If you really, really enjoy the show, then it's fine. But if it's a show you're like, or if there's bits in the show we go, I don't want to do that twice today. But with the show I'm currently doing, I really enjoy it. I really enjoy Restless Natives, and that's a sort of thing where I get to the start of the show, I go, right, let's go for it. I really enjoy it, and the audiences are always I think a good audience can really propel you. That's what I find. If you get them on side early doors, then I love it. I'm just like, if you're enjoying yourself, I'm enjoying myself. So yeah.
There's nothing quite like it with a live crowd to G you
Hmm.
on. But I think
Hmm.
it's one of those things where I think your body just adapts because it has to.
Yeah.
Like
Hmm.
we spoke about this, Sean, with James McNicholas for Horrible Histories. Like when you have to, you do because you
Yeah.
have to.
Yeah. Otherwise, as we've spoken, you'll be replaced.
Yeah, because funnily enough, turns out there's a million people who look a lot like you who will do the job better.
Yeah. Yeah. The trap door will open, and someone who looks at you will arrive at the theatre in 5 minutes. Hello.
See you later.
Mm-mm.
I've been meaning to ask this question now that I think about it because I think we discussed it. I can't remember who we discussed this with. It doesn't matter. It's not important. The main thing is, I was going to ask, with like in-person auditions, when you're going through the waiting room, do you find it disconcerting looking at a lot of people who look like you, or have you not
Yes, to
experienced that
be
at all?
fair. Yeah, there's no, I have. I've rocked up to auditions where there's people who literally are the spitting image of me, and I'm like, oh Christ, okay. But then I'm someone who I'll go into an audition room, and I mean, I see myself as quite a friendly guy. I'll go in and I'll try and like be like, all right, how you doing? But then more so, recent times, people are like, they can't be our speaking. I'm like, fair enough. I mean, they're probably getting in the zone, but I'm like, I mean, I don't want to be that annoying bugger who's sat there going, "Hi, what's your name? What have you done? Hello," like that sort of thing. But I'm just like a nice hello. But some people don't even go look up and say hello. Man, come on, be nice. But yeah,
I
it's
hate to
weird and
say it. I'm one of
disconcerting.
the people that's very quiet. Don't talk to me.
All right, but you'd at least say if I said hello, you might say hello back.
Oh yeah, I'd acknowledge you for sure. I just wouldn't engage you in conversation. Usually because
Oh, no, I'm not full flow.
I'm frantically spinning lines in my head,
Mhm.
and I'm like, don't shut up.
Yeah, no, that's one thing. I hate if someone's going overboard and then you're like, right, can you just be quiet? Especially before an audition, and you're like,
I have 3.5
right.
pages to remember. I need you to be quiet.
How do you
Yes.
find it with lines? Because well, because you can, or I find, go like overdo them as well. So if you do go over the lines too much, then you're so like rock steady on them that it's then difficult to humanize them. If that makes sense,
Yeah.
like because then your brain's going, no, this is the way it's got to be said, instead of breaking it
Mhm.
up, adding a breath or some like humanization
Yeah.
noise.
It's weird, yeah, because usually I'll learn lines by like actually writing them out, which is I don't know if that's a weird technique or whatever, but the musical I'm
I've
in
heard it before.
currently.
I've heard people do that. So
Mhm.
is you're not the only one. So that means it's not weird.
I'll take it. I'll run with that. But the new musical I'm in, I never there was never a point where I actually sat down to learn the lines. I just sort of allowed it to sort of flow into my head in the room by reading it with the script, and then it just molded into my head, which I think I prefer, because it feels a lot freer than remembering how I wrote it on a page or something like that. I don't know. I prefer the way I've done it this time round of just learning it in situ, like in the scenes and that sort of thing. But then obviously, if you're rocking up to set or something, you can't really do that, but just allow it to just go in your head. But
I mean, I think, yeah, I
each
mean,
to them.
organically speaking, it probably is better to learn it through rehearsal rather
Yeah,
than, but sometimes you just don't have that option.
no, exactly. Hmm.
But then, again, it's working in telly. Been working in telly for too long. I can't remember the last time I had any kind of significant rehearsal period for anything.
God, because that's I've not done a lot of TV at all. I mean, what's the rehearsal period like for TV? Is it just sort of you rock up, the director says what he wants, and you go? Oh, is that?
I mean, you might have pre-production. Might. That is a
Hmm.
very key might.
Hmm.
But usually that'll just be like script reads or things like that, as opposed to sort of like getting up and doing, because you don't know what it's going to be. Like, especially for something like
Yeah.
Horrible Histories, where we're here, there, and everywhere, and like squeezing in like sketches wherever we can. Like, it's almost little point rehearsing because you never know what you're going to be
Yeah.
doing from one day to the next. You just got to roll with the punches.
Hmm.
I think the longest rehearsal period I think I ever had for a TV, or well, actually, this is for film. This is for How to Talk to Girls at Parties. We had like 2 weeks of pre-production where we were just going through everything with a fine-tooth comb, and it was really
Hmm.
nice. But like that was to get like the period detail correct because it was set in the 70s. So like we
Hmm.
needed to be absolutely on it. It wasn't fully contemporary. But yeah, generally there's little to no rehearsal in TV, and
That's whack, isn't it? I suppose some people might like that, but
it's again, you get used to it and you just do it
yeah,
because you've got no other choice. Like, you can't very well go, guys, sorry, I need to come in, just time. Can we just roll through this first without the cameras? Just to really get, and they're like, no, we can't, because we've got 90 minutes of the day left and we've got 2 sketches to shoot. So no, you can't be a precious little Willy about this.
but then actually, I mean, I'm thinking about it now. I probably actually prefer that because in the rehearsals, this time round, like we would say 2 lines, and the director would be like, "Stop, stop, stop," and I'd be like, "Right, for goodness' sake, can we not just run this?" And then he'd be like, "Do it like that," and then you do it again, 2 lines in, "Stop," and you go, "For goodness' sake, right?" So maybe actually, I would prefer that.
Again, there's middle grounds, isn't there? Like,
yeah,
there was one guy I worked with when I did Up All Night, John Henderson, named the director. He was like a proper journeyman. Like, he'd been kicking around directing stuff since like the 70s. It's a proper old school. And in terms of rehearsal, what he'd do before we started a scene, all of the crew would be sent away. Okay. It'd be like, "Smoke if you got them, see you in a bit." And it'd be just him and his actors. And we'd work through the scene, work out where we were going to stand. So he sort of did it in the opposite way that a lot of other directors do, where they set up a camera and tell you to stand there. He would let us stand where we want and then set up the camera for that.
Okay, I like that.
So it was very different. So like the crew didn't get to see the initial rehearsal. Basically, they'd then come in and be like, "Right, this is what we got. Set up cameras accordingly."
Fair. I think I prefer that.
I've never seen it done before or since, but it has stuck in my mind since. God, I mean, when did I do that? It was 10 years ago, and I still think about it a lot.
God. That's nice, though. I like that. Gives you sort of the freedom. The freedom instead of stand there, say your line, move there.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's sometimes, again, fine, especially if you're working with like green screen or blue screen or something. You have to get it right. You have to. It's all about getting it right at the end of the day, Kinley Phillip.
Well, that's just the right, because during the show I'm doing currently, I've been called Philip McKillip and I've been called Dylan. Very weirdly, Dylan, because the director who we had, Michael Hoffman, he's done all the like Netflix shows and Amazon Prime shows, and he's done lots of different. He also left our rehearsal process for 3 days to go to Robert Downey Jr.'s birthday party, as you do. He's in a different world to what I'm in. But yes, I think he just calls me Dylan because someone who played the role back in the day was called Dylan.
Not even the name of the character. It's just
not even the name of the character. And there was one day I just went, "My name's Finlay, and if you call me Dylan or Philip, I will charge you." And I actually genuinely wrote up an invoice and sent it. Because I think he's the sort of person who really appreciated it, like, because everyone else would not say boo to him. They wouldn't say anything. But I was like, "Actually, no, I'll send you an invoice." He was like, "Great, I'll pay it." Yeah, great.
I think. It's always been said that like the people who are at the tippy top are the truly nice ones who can take a bit of crack, because like they've already made it, they're fine. It's the struggling ones you want to watch out for.
Oh my god, yes.
The clawers. But I mean, certainly in my experience, like, every quote unquote A-lister I've met has been the nicest person ever. And it's like, oh great, I can get along with this person.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Those crabs in that bucket pulling me down.
Oh, it's wild. Some people are wild.
Some people are wild. Speaking of wild, it's been an hour, Finlay. Can you imagine that?
It's been an hour. Christ alive!
Yeah. We've actually fully got to the end of the podcast. If you can believe
fair.
And as we know, you got to head off to rehearsals, I believe.
I do indeed. Probably something's changing in the show yet again. They're changing everything. I'll go in with a smile on my face.
Smile on your face and a pocket full of dreams. Back to the rehearsal room. Hi, Dylan, everyone will say.
And then you're just handing out invoices like they're fucking cards.
The worst thing is that I'm now anticipating an invoice for Kinley Phillip, honestly. I mean, that was...
Well, it was £10 every time, so I'll go back and I'll listen. It's not cheap.
I'm wrestling managing on the indies. You think I've got £10 to throw around?
You just have it in the background as like a sort of a poster of pride.
I got smacked in the chest by a guy called Big Effing Joe. You think I've got 10 quid?
The guy who
right.
played Joe got hit by a guy called Big Effing Joe.
You think I've got a tenner? Embarrassing, mate. Embarrassing. I haven't worked in months.
I will see you in court.
Oh, actually, no, there's an opportunity here. We could go on Judge Rinder. It's exposure, Finlay.
ITV do like me. Not after this, but
I've heard he's got an in with ITV.
I'll send a couple messages and see what they say.
And of course, I will be using your cheating behaviour in 99 to 1 as evidence of your malfeasance.
Yes, I know. Oh, God, oh, Judge Rinder, he'll eat me up. Oh, Christ.
Also, I've got an in with Rinder because he's sometimes on Horrible Histories.
Oh, Christ, I love a bit of
we got bias then, man.
You're a bias.
No, I'd request a different judge. I'd say it's not fair.
Okay, who do we get? Judge
I don't
Judy?
know.
I'm trying to think of any other sort of small claims
No, I just
litigation
get
television
someone
show.
random. Lorraine Kelly, she can judge it. Why not?
Yeah, she's not busy.
Yeah, she's never on a show, but she's not busy, no.
Nah, of course not. And
You know you've made it when you don't have to be on your own show.
You know, that's when you know you've made it, that you don't have to be on your own show and it's still called Lorraine. And I'm like, you are living your best life. Great. I'm like, on you go.
It hasn't escaped my notice that you have selected fellow Scott to be in the chair. You want to talk about biases, Sean, but apparently that's fine because otherwise it's racist, right?
She's also from Dundee, as like me. And
come on!
She supports the same football team, but, you know. Oh, well.
I'm being railroaded here, Sean. Say something.
Why not? If you can do it.
What? That's £10 that's not going into the podcast budget. I hope you know that.
Yeah, I know. We're the final episode of the podcast.
We're gonna have to pay Lorraine a lot as well. I doubt she's cheap.
Before IT and Lorraine, Judge Rinder all come knocking at your door with the invoices.
They deliver them themselves.
Tell you what, we'll pay the invoice, but would you come on our podcast?
Since you're here, can I whisk you round to Haybridge and chance my arm? Oh, dear. Oh. Finlay, it has been an absolute joy having you on. Thank you for doing it.
Thank you, mate. It's been fantastic.
No worries at all.
Is there anything you'd like to plug, bearing in mind this probably won't be coming out for a couple of weeks, and I believe your show run is ending soon?
It's ending in sort of the end of June, start of July, that time.
Could we fast track, Finlay, do you think, John?
Of course.
Yeah.
You tell me when to do it and I'll do it.
Tell us the dates, Finlay.
I have no power here. What do you...
Christ, where are my dates? Oh, my Lord. I don't have my bloody dates on me. But I can tell you where I'm touring to.
Here we go. Tell us.
So we're touring we're currently in Perth, and then we go to Stirling, then Aberdeen, Inverness, Edinburgh, and Glasgow. And it's a fun new Scottish musical. It was a film in the 80s. It's called Restless Natives. I'm playing Will, a very fun character, and the cast are marvellous. So come along, and if you do come along, you'll hopefully not regret it. And if you do, that's a shame. But please come.
If there's a website, send me the link and I'll put it in the pod.
Yes, that'd be amazing. Thank you.
And as for you personally, where can people find you online?
Online, yes. So on TikTok, it's a weird name. It's at Mr. McKillop, but if you just type in Finlay McKillop, it will come up. I've never changed the name. And then Finlay McKillop is my handle on every single platform: Instagram, Facebook, all that sort of thing. So Facebook, I sound like a bloody Facebook mum, but I still use it. But yes, Finlay McKillop on all platforms, and you'll find me there.
And I've got to ask it because I said it in the intro, and I want to test the theory. Would you give us a blast of Frankie Valli and see if the Zoom noise gate actually does cut it out?
Oh dear, right? I'm sure it will. In fact, I would just open my voice and go, "Shit."
Yeah, there you go.
No.
I knew you were going to sing Sherry as well.
We got share and then nothing.
Baby. Yeah, there we go.
It's share, nothing, and then baby. It's brilliant. Thank you, Zoom, for preventing us from being able to hear this lovely young gentleman serenade us.
Thank you for listening to Shut Up and Answer the Question. I am Sean Antony, at Sean Antony VO everywhere, and my co-host is Ethan Lawrence, Ethan D. Lawrence everywhere. If you want to follow the pod, on Instagram we are on Shut Up and Answer Pod, and on TikTok we are Shut Up Pod. If you've got a question that you'd like us to answer, send it to shutuppod@yahoo.com. That is SHUTUPPOD@yahoo.com. The music was by Eyes on Lakes, and the artwork was by Kitsune Kei. Thank you very much, Podbean, for hosting our podcast, and we will see you next time.